Right then guys, welcome back to the channel and thank you for subscribing for those of you that have. And today it is game day. We've got Nottingham Forest. We need to get revenge for the game early on in the season, which we lost 1-0. And in this video, I'm just going to slightly cover a few things in regards to Jurgen Klopp's press conference. And I've got a player that Liverpool have been linked with as it says is an alternative to Jude Bellingham, but for me they're not the same type of player. And also just a little bit on Mason Mount as well for you in regards to other things that's going on. So let's start with the Nottingham Forest game. You know, Klopp's come out and basically said that Bobby Firmino will not play a part of this game or the game afterwards as he is injured. And he also spoke quite well about Bobby, because obviously this is his last season with the club. He's been linked this weekend or yesterday with a move to Barcelona, saying that it's done. I think he was linked with Chelsea as well, which made no sense to me whatsoever, because I feel like when it first came out that Bobby was going to leave the club, he actually said that he would not be joining another English club, so that's off the table. But then the other strong one as well is Galatasaray, so where do you guys think he'll end up? Like, I think if he was a little bit younger, I could see him at Barca, but I just feel like he's a Galatasaray player now, and I don't want him to take that as an insult, but do you know what I mean? I just feel like that's where he'd go. I don't know, guys. He's also been linked to a move to Saudi Arabia as well, where he'd obviously get paid an absolute boatload of money, so maybe he'll go do that. Who knows, but I wish him all the best anyway with the future he's had. He's a Liverpool legend. He's won everything while he's been at the club, so yeah. I'd be sad to see him go, but hopefully he gets another game before he leaves, you know, potentially at Anfield, and gets a wonderful send-off from the fans. So yeah, that's the Bobby stuff. The other thing that really came out of the press conference as well is that James Milner, the decision has not been made yet. You know, we've seen a lot of stuff that came out recently in regards to saying that Liverpool had never even opened contract talks with him or anything like that. And Klopp's basically said that they've not made a decision on what they want to do with him. For me, unless he's going to take on a coaching role after next season, then I wouldn't be keeping him around. If he wants to play for another 2 years, then I think he's got to go, even if he is taking a little bit of a lesser pay. The only thing is we've got to think about, guys, as well, is we need English players, because we're going to lose the Ox. We could potentially lose Milner. Kelleher might be going as well. I know he's not English, but he's classed as homegrown. So we need more English coming in, and that's either going to be like youth players like Tyler Morton or Mason Mount or, you know, Jude Bellingham. Like, I wouldn't even rule out Jude Bellingham yet, you know, just bear that in mind. But, you know, Mason Mount, Conor Gallagher, players who've been linked with, these have all been linked with because we need to have, like, the quota of English homegrown talent. So, you know, if we lose Milner as well as Ox, that's another one we'll have to sign. You know, Fabio Carvalho, he kind of classes as a homegrown talent. Curtis Jones, if he spends a season out alone, that's four homegrown players. There we go. 4 homegrown players that we're going to have to find to come in to meet the quota to be able to play in Europe and Premier League, you know. So maybe Milner is kept on for another season just for that reason, but who knows, eh? Anything else from the press conference I want to mention? Just about Cody Gakpo's positioning and Darwin Núñez. Now, a journalist asked Klopp, can Gakpo learn from Bobby on playing the false 9 role? And he spoke about it, you know, saying, yeah, blah, 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 blah. But for me, like, I don't want to see Gakpo through the middle. I want to see Darwin through the middle. Like, we signed him as a striker and he's playing a lot on the left. Now, Klopp did say that Darwin is like a long-term project in his press conference. So maybe they have got some plan for him and it's going to come into fruition next season after we've ended this season. You know, get another pre-season under him. You know, Darwin himself is talking a lot in regards to comparing himself to Suarez. Like when Suarez first came, he didn't really hit the ground running, but then in the following season he was just phenomenal, like, you know, bashing goals in left, right and centre. And Darwin keeps going on about that, so maybe that's what he's aiming for. Let's wait and see what happens next season, eh? So let's get on to this player then that was linked with us yesterday by Miguel Delaney at The Independent. And his name is, I'm going to try and say it, is Khephren Thuram. I think I've said that right. He is basically the son of the French football legend Lilian Thuram, if you say that, I guess I said that right, and the brother of Marcus Thuram. Now, He's 22 years of age, so he's got the right age profile. He plays for Nice at the moment, and he plays like, this is the bit where I don't understand where they said he's like a Jude Bellingham replacement, because it says here he plays prominently as a defensive mid, so the number 6, so he's more of a Fabinho type player rather than a Bellingham, who I think can do a bit of everything. You know, he does play here, it says, a bit further up in a central position, but not like attacking. But he has done a little bit on the left as well. But yeah, he's got 2 years left on his deal. Now, Nice signed him for €500,000. I'm going to say pounds then. €500,000 they signed him for. Now, he was linked to us back in January, and the price then was like 40 million. Now this paper's saying you're looking at around about 60 for him. Is seen as a cheaper version compared to Bellingham. You know, we've got other, you know, we're going about here like how Klopp wants to revitalise the midfield, and among the names being looked at is Conor Gallagher, Mason Mount, João Paulinho at Fulham, and Brighton's Alexis McAllister. Names I've already heard about. I'm of the opinion, guys, that even though we've been linked with these players, we might get one of these players. Someone like Thuram, who, yes, we've been linked with in the past, but it went silent, didn't it? We didn't hear anything about him ever since, and now it's cropped up again. This could be one of the type of players that we actually do go and sign. Now, let's have a look at his stats for this season. So he's made 31 appearances from the... where does it say his most positions come from? Yeah, from the 6th row. He's got 2 goals and 4 assists in Ligue 1. Let's have a look. He's played in the conference as well. That's you know, the Conference League in Europe, and he's got 10 appearances, 3 assists. And he's got 1 appearance for the French national team, and that's about it there. Yeah, that's it for him. Now, he looks like he could be the replacement for Fabinho, which I've already mentioned, and he's got the build, like he's 1.92 metres tall, which is pretty big. And he just seems to be a proper monster with a lot of going on about him. Like, I'm not going to say like I've watched every game of him, but I have watched like a highlight reel of him, and he does look like he could be really, really good for us at winning the ball back. Now, I wouldn't say he's like a Caicedo or a Kante that's got the pace, you know, to cover as much ground as possible. But I do think he could be like a Fabinho, like just reads the game a little bit better and is there before he needs to be. Or potentially we go and sign Caicedo to be like the Kante that runs around at the back of the 6, and then he probably takes up the position on the left and becomes the new Gini Wijnaldum. You know, like a shuttler of the ball, making sure it keeps going, you know, keeps ticking over. He could be that player. Because he's got like the power to keep hold of the ball in the Premier League. Now, I really would keep an eye on this guy, Khephren Thuram. Let's see what else comes out of him over the next couple of months, because I think Liverpool are intensifying their search now for a midfielder, and I would not be surprised whatsoever if we hear within the next 2 weeks or so that we've got a deal done for a player. If I had to pick a player, that's probably going to be Ryan Gravenberch. Yeah, 100%. I feel like I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to like say, oh, you were wrong with this, but just everything that's coming out about him and stuff like that, it does look like he could be the first signing of the summer. That's all I'm gonna say, Ryan Gravenberch. So yeah, let's have a look at Mason Mount then as well, just because I find this bit interesting. So we've been linked with Mason Mount for what seems like forever now, like 4 or 5 months. Now, it's been said yesterday that Mount's been in talks with Arsenal, Newcastle, and both Manchester clubs. Now, who does that there like give more power in regards to the article being written? Now, for me, that is the player, because I think I've said now for a bit now, I would think that he preferred to stay at Chelsea, and I feel like he's putting it out there that he's speaking to all these clubs so that Chelsea stop beating around the bush and just give him what he wants so he signs the deal. Now, it could be that. It could be that he's basically just looking around at options, see what's available. You know, Arsenal have turned a corner. They're doing really, really well this season, even though they did have a bit of a dip last night, and I thought they were going to get beat as well, to be fair. But maybe he's looking elsewhere. Maybe the Liverpool stuff's not where he wants to be, even though the talks were pretty positive with Mount that we've had. You know, maybe he's just looking elsewhere. He wants Champions League football. Who knows, guys? I feel like we've got a lot to do still this season. You know, I have looked at the table, and top four is still achievable. It's just literally we need other stuff to go in our favour. Like the Newcastle Tottenham game this weekend, we could do with that being a draw. We could not have another one of them two teams winning. Obviously, we play Spurs as well, and we need to win that game. For us to have any realistic chance of qualifying for the Champions League, we need to win every remaining game now. Yeah, we really do. You know, Aston Villa's up there, Tottenham, Newcastle. I think it's between the four of us, isn't it? I'd say safe bets now in the top four, City, Arsenal, United, and then that fourth position is either us, Newcastle, Spurs, and Aston Villa. As weird as that sounds, but yeah. Right then, guys, I think that's pretty much it for this video. I feel like I've waffled towards the end. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments what you think about everything I've covered off. Give the video a like if you've enjoyed it, and also subscribe if you are new to the channel. And I will catch you in the next one, and I hope that Liverpool win today, and I will do another one of them short reactions to the game actually as well. So I'll see you then.